Do you remember what seems to be just a few short years ago when the welterweight division looked like this? Yes, this was the welterweight division. It was like a thriving metropolis. The welterweight division, it was just, look at this metropolis, look at this city. That's how the welterweight division was. You could just walk outside on your patio, just step outside of your front door, and you could see a superhero flying through. It was so many of them around. You just took a step outside and you're like, oh my God, look, there's Floyd Mayweather, he's flying by. There's Mayweather. Oh, wait, look, it's Manny Pacquiao. Oh, look, oh my God, it's one time Keith Thurman, there he is too. There were so many heroes in the welterweight division. Some of them came in the form of a duo. You could just be on a normal day driving down the street and you could look over, look, there's Shawn and Kenny Porter. There's Angel and Danny Garcia. We even had duos. But something happened to the welterweight division. And now, just a few short years later, this thriving metropolis that looked like this now looks like this. It's a ghost town, people. It's nobody here. We're calling out names and we're getting echoes. Keith, where are Shawn? We're even calling out the fathers. Kenny, Angel. It's just echoes. We can't even get answers back. Some of you might be wondering what happened. How did it get this way? Well, a couple of things actually happened. But I think there is one thing lately that has happened that has changed the whole landscape and possibly ruined the welterweight division. Do you want to know what that is? Do you want to know what happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. He happened. Earl Spence Jr. And today we got to talk about it. Y'all know what it is. Amazing Eric Sports. Let's go, man. Amazing Eric Sports. Sports and laughs. It's all love. Ow! What is up, my people? What is up, my fam? It's your boy Eric, aka Big E, back here live with another episode of the Amazing Eric Sports Show. Listen, I had to come through today and talk some boxing. And this all started because your boy was just thinking to himself, what happened to the welterweight division? Because let's bring that other picture back up. You remember when we had all these fighters? Everybody was talking about fighting each other and everybody actually started to fight each other. And now the whole thing is flipped and we can't get the best in the welterweight division to fight. They're coming up with all these different excuses, all these different things. And I ask myself, who is at fault here? How did it get like this? And I think the answer might be this man, Errol Spence Jr. Yes, Earl Smith Jr. with his body shots, with his relentless style, with his come forward aggression, with his willingness to fight any and everybody. Earl Smith, you might have just ruined the welterweight division. But let me tell you what I mean. There was actually a series of unfortunate events that led to this. So follow me if you don't mind. Just allow me a few minutes of your life, a few minutes of your time. Let me explain to you what happened. Let's go on this ride together. Okay, let's go back about 3 to 4 years in time where we had two major kingpins in the welterweight division that everything pretty much revolved around. That was Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. They were the kingpins. They were the cash cows. All the other guys wanted to get their spot. And so finally the kingpins decide to put together, after 5 years, the fight, get the fight made. They give us the fight. Floyd Mayweather wins the fight pretty easily. But after the kingpins fought, it's like they kind of both mutually decided they wanted to do like golf and join the seniors tour. That's right. They went from Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, they turned into Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer. They lost the desire to fight the young guns, the real threats. They almost just started to ignore them. But after the kingpins sort of drifted away, then you had another group of guys. You had the Tim Bradley and the Marquezes. You had these guys who were a little older than the young guns. And when the kingpins lost interest and the kingpins went away from it, you saw Bradley, you saw Marquez, you saw both of these guys say, I want to step away too. I don't really want to do this. I don't want to fight the young guns. So they stepped away too, and this could have been considered a bad time for the welterweight division. But guess what? At that time, it wasn't. Because we still had all these young guns and they were all willing to fight each other. And they do start to fight each other, and the division is popping again. And as they all start to lock up and fight each other, you get spectacular knockouts. Danny Garcia knocks out Amir Khan, and then Shawn Porter goes and he wins a strap from another young gun, from Devin Alexander. Shawn Porter claims this belt. He says this belt is so important to him. Then we get this guy, Kell Brook. He comes and he takes the belt from Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter then is on a mission to get his belt back. And then right around this time, this man appears. Oh my goodness. And when this man appears, he had always been there. He was lurking in the shadows. But when he appeared, when he made his presence felt, when he started knocking out people like Chris Algieri and Bundu, when he was no longer able to be ignored, the whole thing changed. Everybody changed. All of these guys backed up. And then they all start playing a game that I like to call you go first. That's what they start playing. You go first. You fight him first. All of a sudden, all of these superheroes, you couldn't find them. You couldn't just walk outside your door and see Kenny and Shawn Porter just zooming by in the Batmobile. You couldn't see it anymore. You had to look for them. All of a sudden, Angel and Danny Garcia start to get really quiet. And everybody starts coming up with these reasons, and everybody's wanting someone else to take the leap. I said this in another video, and I'll say it again now because I think it's relevant. Errol Spence was like a high cliff dive into water with rocks down below. Nobody wanted to jump first. All of the big names wanted someone else to jump first. And then I got to give this brother props. One big name stepped up and said, I will do it. And that was Kell Brook. Kell Brook said, I'll jump first. Everybody get out the way. I'm going to jump down there. And Keith Thurman backed up to look. Shawn Porter backed up to look. Amir Khan backed up to look. All the big name welterweights, they backed up and said, wait, be quiet. Kell Brook is going to take the leap first. He's going to jump. Let's see what happens. We needed somebody to jump first. And guess what Kell Brook did? He jumped. And when that brother jumped off that cliff, he got everything in his face busted up for it. He hit every rock that you could possibly hit on the way down. Now, let me say this. Kell Brook put up a great fight against Errol Spence. Yes, he did. Kell Brook stood his ground, and I had more respect for Kell Brook after that fight than I had before that fight. So kudos to you, Kell Brook. But what happened in that fight was everybody saw that Triple G had broken one side of Kell Brook's face, but he was a middleweight. He was one of the hardest punching middleweights out there. But then here comes Errol Spence, a welterweight, and breaks the other side of his face. It was like everything in Kell Brook's face that could leak had fluid coming out of it. Eye fluid. Tears were coming out of his eyes. Juice. Something was running out of the side of his ear. Ear juice. Mouth. You had slobber and blood coming out of his mouth. Nose. Snot. Fluid. Everything else running out of his nose. Every hole on his face had something leaking out of it. And you know who saw that? Keith Thurman saw that. Shawn Porter saw that. Danny Garcia saw that. And they stepped even further away. And in the meantime, they're all fighting each other. Keith Thurman and Shawn Porter give us a great fight. I love that fight. Kudos to Keith Thurman and Shawn Porter for that fight. Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia give us another really good fight. And as the dust settles, Keith Thurman sets himself up to be the guy. He looks like the guy. He's beating Danny Garcia. He's beating Shawn Porter. But now that it's time for him to fight Errol Spence, Keith Thurman is coming up with every different excuse in the book. He's saying that Shawn Porter is of more importance because he has earned it. He deserves it more than Errol Spence. But when we pull away the facades and all the different things, we see that the only thing Shawn Porter's done is he's beaten Andre Berto and Adrian Granados. No disrespect to Andre Berto. I love that brother. No disrespect to Adrian Granados. I love that brother too. A warrior. Props to Adrian. But Andre Berto and Adrian Granados have put him over Errol Spence in your eyes, Keith? That makes him more deserving when he's already had his crack at you than a man who went over to the UK and actually beat the man who beat Shawn Porter. Errol Spence goes on the road to the UK. He goes to Kell Brook's backyard and he stops him in front of 60,000 people in his backyard in Errol Spence's first big fight. And Keith Thurman tells us that fighting Andre Berto, who's at the end of his career, who I think might be retired now, and fighting Adrian Granados, who has moved up in weight, and Shawn Porter looked like he struggled on the back end of that fight. You were saying to us, Keith, that that is more deserving, that Shawn Porter is more deserving of a chance than Errol Spence? That's what you're saying. That's what's happened. That's what I mean by the tumbleweed. Let's call his name. Keith, Keith, Keith. And everybody that knows me knows I am a huge one-time Thurman fan. He was my favorite welterweight for a long time. I still got nothing but love for that brother, but I can't get with these excuses. Shawn Porter, I love Shawn Porter. I love Kenny Porter, but they both said when they lost the belt to Kell Brook that they wanted to get that belt back. I think it was the IBF. It was their mission to get their belt back. Now I hear them talking and they're just ignoring Errol Spence and his belt. They're saying that belt doesn't even matter to us. We're thinking about the WBC because they want to fight Keith Thurman again. When we all know, even though we respect Shawn Porter, we respect Kenny Porter, we know they just don't want to fight Errol Spence. And then we have Danny and Angel Garcia. We all know Angel Garcia has been a walking soundbite over like the past 4 years. This guy never stops talking, always talking, always talking. Whoever has anything to say about his son, he's talking about that person, talking about this person. Where is he now? When it comes to Errol Spence, I have never even heard him discuss Errol Spence. I am not saying that he hasn't. Maybe some of you guys can send me the interview, but I have never heard a real sit-down interview where this guy is talking about Errol Spence. He had a lot to say about Terrence Crawford. He had tons to say about Keith Thurman, but he's not talking about Errol Spence. His son, Danny, is taking an approach to where he's basically acting like Errol Spence is not even on planet Earth. I mean, he won't even respond. We remember when Mikey Garcia called out Danny Garcia. Mikey was coming up from 135. He ended up fighting Broner at 140. But Mikey Garcia called out Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia came right back in the interview. He can get it. If he wants it, he can get it. He had something to say. We all know Shawn Porter and Danny Garcia have been going back and forth. Every time Shawn says something, Danny says something right back. Earl Spence came out and has multiple times, like not once, not twice, more than 2 to 3 times, call out Danny Garcia. Told Danny Garcia, come get the belt. I'm going to bring this graphic up. I worked up this graphic from an old video, and I'm not trying to make fun of Danny Garcia. This graphic just, it symbolizes what's really going on, in my opinion. Look, check this graphic out. You see Earl right now. He's looking over Danny's shoulder. He's like, yo, Danny, come get this work. And look at Danny, looking the other way. Y'all hear something? I didn't. That's what's really going on between these two. It's like Danny Garcia is acting like he's not even there. So the biggest names now are clearly avoiding Earl Spence. Even if you don't like Earl Spence, you have to be honest with yourself and say they are avoiding him. Now let me answer this. Some people say, you guys are pumping up Earl Spence so much you act like he's unbeatable. I don't think Earl Spence is unbeatable. I think Earl Spence is just a man like all the rest of them are. I do rate Earl Spence as my #1 welterweight, but here's the thing. These fighters clearly think a lot of Earl Spence because they just won't fight him. Now, on to my favorite time in the video. I want to know what you guys think. I want to see that comment section light up. I need to know you guys' feelings on this. Do you feel Earl Spence has possibly ruined the welterweight division? The thriving metropolis, all the heroes we had, they've gone into hiding now. Do you think Earl Spence has ruined it? Do you think he's being ducked? Do you think he's not being ducked? Do you have reasons why you feel like Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, why they shouldn't fight him? Share. I'm not going to attack you for it. I want to hear your thoughts. Whatever you think, get in the comment section. Let your boy know. Thank you guys for giving me the time. Thank you guys for checking out the video. Until the next one, it's your boy, Big E, Amazing Eric with Amazing Eric Sports. I'm out. Peace.